Thank you very much. So, creating well-lit bathrooms. I'm James Bassant. I'm the design director of Astro Lighting, and I'm going to explain why I'm standing here and why I think I can explain about well-lit bathrooms. Astro Lighting was formed in 1997, and a couple of years after that, the lighting regulations changed for bathrooms. There was a European-wide regulation change for bathrooms, and we were very early adopters of the new regulations, and we started creating quite an extensive range of bathroom lighting, and probably one of the largest ranges available. So the importance of bathroom lighting. Nowadays, bathrooms are so much more than just a small white space. People are used to staying in some fantastic hotels, so it's this sort of hotel experience, how to really create a wow factor within a bathroom. There are so many ways of doing it. It's the whole experience. It's creating a spa feeling in your own home. So, planning for bathroom lighting. So, within the bathroom, there's various things to consider. Firstly, why are you picking that product in the first place? The only reason that you are looking in a lighting catalogue is because you need light. So you need the output from the product, but obviously you want it to be wrapped up in a great-looking enclosure. So it's balancing those two things. It's balancing the functional requirements of the light and the look of the light itself. So I always think that with lighting is one of the biggest challenges. It's got to look great but perform well as well. Different required illumination levels. How much light do you need? There are so many things to consider. It's just like any other room in a house. It's creating that the layers of light. It's the ability to create the drama, the darkness, the lightness, the layers of light within a scheme. Often the rooms are quite small, but there's no reason why you can't create some fantastic effects within a bathroom. I mentioned there, you've got the output, the color temperature, and the color rendering. We'll come on to a little bit more of that a little bit later in the talk. Here we've got a picture of our Palermo lights, which we've been doing for over a decade, one of our most successful lights there. So obviously the product itself complies with British standard, that's a given, but also we come up against the requirements of the wiring regulations. You've got a many 100-page document of wiring regulations, so there's the regulations covering the product itself and also the wiring regulations. That's the part that the electrician is in charge of, and the reason I mention that is we're often fielding questions that are obviously installation questions rather than product questions. I do put a little note in there that bathrooms do need a separate RCD, but again, that's an electrician sort of installation point more than anything. You're probably now all familiar with these zones. This is really us. We've boiled down what the requirements are in the regulations that changed about 20 years ago. The thing that most people know about is the zones. I think this is pretty much common knowledge now, but you've got inside the bath, so you've got waterproof lighting within inside a bath or a shower basin. Zone 1 is the darker blue area there, so that's above a bath up to a height of 2.25 meters and within the shower enclosure. Above that zone, you've got Zone 2, which is... Zone 1, you require IP44 as a minimum. We often recommend higher than that because in many regards, IP44 probably seems a little bit low. So IP65, which is spray-proof rather than splash-proof. We often upgrade the recommendations within there. Zone 2 is beyond the dark blue area, so the lighter blue area, and IP44, so just splash-proof lighting is required. And beyond those zones, no requirements for IP. So if you have a tall enough ceiling, again, you can use what you like above 2.25 meters. I'd also like to point out that these bathroom zones are for domestic use. They're slightly more onerous for some contract use. So if you're doing bathrooms within a a leisure centre or something where things may be hosed down, the requirements are more stringent. So, light levels. As I said, this is personal taste. The product got to look great, perform well as well. So it's just as much as choosing the products, the amount of light you require is personal choice. What we've done here, we do a lot of work with hospitality clients, and this is just a little rough guide of what they often work towards. So 300 lux on the face, 400 lux on the bathroom. They work to 200 lux, and apparently 50 lux on the lavatory. So that's probably for reading, I guess. I don't know. So I mentioned earlier about colour temperature. This is quite an interesting slide. What we've done here is we've taken a couple of our lights. So these are our Riva lights, so a glass shade, and we fitted them with different colour temperature lamps. And you can see the effect on the face. So this is the warmness of the actual light emitted from the product. So on the left you've got a 2700 warm white through to 4000 K neutral white on the right hand side. Again, this is personal choice. So and we often find this varies from country to country. Some countries prefer a warmer light, some countries prefer a whiter light. So personal choice, but usually it's the warmer end of the spectrum for bathroom. It's a little bit more forgiving on the face when you get up in the morning. Certainly, I prefer it a little bit warmer in the morning. Try and look my best. Colour rendering. So CRI, Colouring Rendering Index. This slide is probably a little subtle, but you can see there's a sort of slight mellowness on the face on the right hand side. So that's as 80 CRI minimum, which is actually probably quite low now. A lot of companies are specifying 90 as a minimum now. So again, it's just it's the rendering of colours in their most natural state. So it's the colours that you see reflected back at you are more accurate. Types and functions of bathroom lights. Well, here's just a sort of overview. We talk about sort of a general accent and decorative lighting. So as I mentioned before, it's you can do so much more. You can walk in and you can flick a switch and a whole load of downlights come on. That's great. But you want illumination on the face. So if we look at task lighting, so again, the same photograph. What we did here, we did an experiment. So in most bathrooms you walk in, there's a forest of downlights on the ceiling, which does give a great sparkle. All the ceramic ware and the chrome is all sparkling and looking great. But you do cast quite a lot of shadows on the face. Downlighting is a great method of lighting a space, but you can see that it's far more flattering if you have illumination from both sides of the mirror. So whereas before we were showing a lot of slides with lights on either side of the mirror, you can see the difference. So what we did here, we did an experiment where we had downlights from above, lights from the side, and we literally flicked one off and one on, and you can see the huge difference. So I think most people would like to get up in the morning and see themselves looking better, on the right-hand side. Other things to consider. Technology, I put this in. This is something that we're certainly working on, and is something that I think that the market will see coming through more and more. I'm sure most people are familiar with the term tunable white. So I mentioned about the colour temperature. So it's this idea of tuning from a warm down through to a cooler light. Or possibly the other way around. You get up in the morning, the bluer light in the spectrum will will sort of wake you up and get you ready and get you out of the door. And as the day progresses into the evening and you're getting ready for bed, you want the reds in the spectrum. So the ability of tunable white, I think, is something that is perfect for bathroom use, because it's often, you're using the bathroom before you go to bed, winding down for the day, and it's the circadian rhythm. So again, this is really just highlighting other things that you can consider within a bathroom. For many years, the default setting was chrome, I suppose, but now we're seeing more and more finishes. We have copper finishes on the left-hand side. Black has been a hugely popular finish within the bathroom. We've got a product there, the Beauville light in the middle, a lot more scale, a lot more drama. We've got some up and down lights, and then we've got a brushed brass little light there. These are installations that have been in various magazines. So, point number one there is probably true of any room. It's always about planning early. Where do you want the lights? The earlier you plan and decide where you want them, the better. True of any room, but I suppose especially with bathrooms, because once those tiles go up on the wall, it's going to be quite expensive to move them around. I think with bathrooms, a lot of times people just walk in and just flick a switch, all the lights come on. I think an easy way to create a little bit of drama within the bathroom is you've got your wall lights, you've got your down lights, you might have other sort of accent lighting within the room. Just consider using a couple of circuits. So, the simplicity of using two circuits, so you can have a lower level lighting circuit, and then you've got your bright functional lighting. So it's just a simple way of doing it. Dimming is something that certainly we're getting asked for more and more within the bathroom space. Certainly older bathroom lights were non-dimmable, and no one ever wanted dimming, but nowadays people are looking to create a sense of drama, as I said before, and moodiness within a bathroom. So it's the controllability, the different layers of light, and really giving the bathroom just as much attention as any other room within the house, any other scheme. I put in there about dimmer and driver compatibility. That gets better every year, but certainly it's something we have to consider quite carefully. Just ensuring that's checked out by the electrician. And heater pads for mirrors. We do several products with heater pads. This is essentially just something that you can put on the back of the mirror in a steamy environment. It's something as you switch your lights on, the heater pad comes on and it demists an area within the mirror. So certainly our contract customers, that's something that they ask us to add to the mirrors when we're specifying them. And that was just a very quick little run-through of how you might sort of enhance bathroom lighting. So I hope there was something in there that people found of interest. Thank you very much.